The day is finally here as Manor Lords receives its release date. Coming to PC via Steam, GOG and Xbox Game Pass Day 1 on April 26, 2024, and even planning a console release at a later date, Manor Lords is sure to take the historical immersion genre by storm. In other words, April 26 is the day we've been waiting for years now. And why that is? Well, let me tell you that real quick, because this might have massive implications on giant franchises like Total War itself. Manor Lords has been a mouth-watering tease for a while now, as what it promises is something extremely unique, and at the same time, something so long overdue. Here we have a city builder in a medieval historical setting that seemingly holds nothing back on realism and detail as you gather and create resources and build your villages and societies. But being more than just a city builder, and the reason why I and so many others are so hyped for this game, is because it joins that love of growth and of creating something lasting with the actual real-time tactical battles. This last part might just be one aspect of the game, but to me, it might just be the most exciting one, since what it looks to be is so awesome. If you follow me and my channel, you know that I love my historical strategy games, but that a certain series has kind of fumbled the ball in terms of keeping up with focus on history, realism, and the sense of being grounded. Well, as showcased extremely well in the latest Manor Lords showcase, the game looks to be, albeit perhaps on a smaller scale, exactly what fans of historical strategy games have wanted for a long time now. A return to realism, a return to careful use of tactics, and soldiers that actually feel as they are present and given gravity and weight in the world. I mean, just look at these images. Even though we're just shown a few seconds here, what I absolutely love the most to see and what really gets me going are three things in particular. First, look at how beautiful these archers look while shooting. Look at how their legs are positioned, how the bowstring quickly pinches forward after letting go, and how the arrows, oh those beautiful arrows, are completely visible and trackable, and doing it all without a single trace of arrow trails. Realism in visuals and the organic sense at display here, from just a few seconds of screen time, is exactly to the point what I've wanted to see in my tactical strategy games for decades now. And I mean, just look at how good these graphics look. And that takes me to my next point, the visuals. It's almost as if Total War suddenly found itself in another timeline where focus had been put on making lighting, environments, and unit models as realistic as possible. And personally, I think the magic of an actually proper lighting engine is doing heavy work here to make this look so amazing, since realistic lighting, and most of all, quality lighting that provides realistic shadows and contrast to units and environments, is literally like half of what makes up a good image. Seriously, look at this regiment. The units, despite looking like common sergeant or perhaps regular militia troops, look so damn good because of the variety in their getup. Yeah, they're not wearing the finest of armors or carrying the most gilded swords, nor do they sit upon war horses. But what they do in return is look realistic, is look different from each other in ways that matter, in clothing that's detailed. In every shot in this video with similarly dressed units, these soldiers continue to look just as good because of this. And if I am completely honest, assuming that these shots are from actual gameplay and not tampered with, this might just look better than any strategy game with tactical battles I've ever seen. We even get a little sneak peek of what units with more armor looks like with these, and I have to say I can't wait to play around with them. More than that, take a look at these banners. If there's one item that I love seeing more than others out there on the battlefield, it's always been banners, and it is a letdown every time when they're not present. Manor Lords banners might just be some of the most awesome I've ever seen in a strategy game, since, well, I think this amazing footage speaks for itself. The banners fly and flutter, either by themselves or naturally in the wind, and they too really do look like organic and thick objects in the game world, and not as something that's been tacked on just for show. Great games and the feeling of historical battlefields sometimes do come down to details like these, and even though I've yet to try out Manor Lords battles for myself, from what I've seen in this trailer, it's hard to imagine it's been done better elsewhere. Man, I love banners. The third thing I need you to look out for here are the general animations and flow of battle. One thing that's bothered me and the people like me for a long time is that a series like Total War has for the most part felt aged for years now, with battles more or less feeling the same as they used to do for about a decade or more. But pay attention to Manor Lords here. In these shots, units seem to be keeping a decent amount of space between each other, meaning we're able to have a battlefield that feels more realistic than blobby and arcadey. The second important part of animations here is in the way units actually move and fight. Take a look here. Almost every unit looks active in one way or another, either looking like they're poking or hitting at men in front of them, defending, or indeed moving about to assume the best positions. We're definitely not getting a full battles overview here, and these shots do not last longer than a few seconds each, but I think we can tell from just these shots that Manor Lords seem to have figured out something special, something Total War has struggled with in the past years, namely that sense of organic fighting and unit movements, of not having every fight turn into a blobby mash of units. I mean, look at this overview here, and look at what might be perceived as blobs. Well, they're actually not, because when you look, you can tell that units actually manage to stand apart from each other and give each other a minimum modicum of space to get those hits in. You can even see these shadows given space on the ground beside them, meaning units aren't stacked together like sardines, even though this particular great unit in a spear or shield wall formation certainly is, but that they're actually made to feel, look, and act realistically. That's another thing, by the way. Look at this shot right here. Manor Lords seem to have put every ounce of its being into creating the best UI possible, and namely one that sees beauty in simplicity. Being very reminiscent of the one in Total War, we have unit cards down below and a few buttons on top. But other than that, there is no other UI element to clutter the screen or take away from what's actually going on the battlefield here. And those buttons, by the way, indicate to me that we'll be able to make ample use of formations and orders, which is just amazing and adds to that sense of tactical immersion and the fun of gameplay. Further, look at the numbers on these cards. It's no secret that Manor Lords battles will be smaller than those of, say, Total War, but that doesn't mean less fun. Smaller battles do often suggest more tactical after all, especially because it means that every single unit matters. It will also likely mean that the use of formations will become all the more important, and that units like archers or even cavalry later on will be deadly and must be used with extreme precision. Whether we will have friendly fire or damage, I don't know, but I assume we will. But either way, major battles taking place between perhaps 500 soldiers instead of 5 or 10,000 will mean that every man counts. And I can already now imagine those down-to-the-wire battles being insanely intense. What's also fun is that this dragging movement here suggests that these battles will indeed be very reminiscent and function much in the same way as Total War battles do, and I just can't wait to get my hands on this game in its more developed state. Not just for the battles of course, but it seems we'll even be able to customize our own knights for one, and we will be able to deal with diplomatic matters, as we can claim other regions of the map. Which other diplomatic options we'll have I don't fully know at this point, nor how many players or entities there will be per map, but I do know I hope we can trade and create alliances and the like. And of course, there's that whole matter of city building. Even though I've certainly not played the full game, I've already dealt with Manor Lords demo, where I got a sneak peek at what's going to be offered here. What I saw was amazing, especially since it's possible to walk around in your settlement and game world in third person. While I personally am the most excited to build my armies and fight these battles, I know it's going to be so amazing seeing these towns and villages grow and to give context to these battles when knowing you're either fighting to defend your own people or to conquer the regions of others. Either way, Manor Lords looks better than ever, and as the brainchild of initially a one-man studio, which makes this whole thing even more impressive, I cannot wait to see what's in store and what is to come when we all get our hands on Manor Lords on April 26, 2024. The fact that the game got a deal with Xbox Game Pass and is later coming to consoles is itself a massive deal for the game and its future, and I wish the developers the absolute best going forward. Let me know your thoughts on Manor Lords, how it might compete with the giants of the genre, and remember to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Manor Lords. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!